This wasn't meant to teach people anything, just something I made for fun. Enjoy. Zombies are without a doubt the perfect video game enemy. They can be used anywhere for anything. They can be useful for horror. They can be used as walking target practice. Zombies know no bounds. So it's no wonder why a lot of video games love to be zombie murder simulators. There's so many zombie games that come out that zombie games are almost like zombies in itself. Right as you finish one off, oop, no more room in development hell. So another one rises up and walks the earth. But zombies can get a bit tiring. I think the perfect zombie game is something that doesn't get boring, even after the 493rd time you just wipe zombie guts off your face. Replayability is something that's entirely subjective, but I think that it's done perfectly by the games Left 4 Dead and its sequel. They were released in the years 2008 and 2009, and all the way over to when this video was released in 2021, it still has a strong player base. And I don't think it's a mystery on why. What sets Left 4 Dead apart from other zombie games? It may not be completely original, but I think it's with how they make their zombies. Most zombie games make zombies strong, but they're slow and uncoordinated. Decent on their own, but stronger as a mob. Left 4 Dead keeps the whole strength and numbers perk, but other than that, they're the polar opposite. They're incredibly weak, but they're fast, and they are used strategically, as they are commanded by an unseen force, known as the AI Director. A lot of great video games and movies subscribe to the theory of pacing. Too much action is exhausting, and too much downtime is boring. If you keep both of them going when they're needed, then it's perfect. You gotta let the audience catch their breath a bit so you can knock the wind back out of them. The AI Director keeps this balance in check, controlling enemies and item spawns and reacting to player status. If the players are doing really good, it might summon a horde of zombies on them.
Right! Way to go! Way to go! Oh shit! Ah! No! Not my ass!
And if a player is getting a good beatdown, it eases up a bit and gives them time to recover, and it might also give them some better health pickups to help them out. Here's a good example of what I mean. This medicine cabinet right here is guaranteed to give you 4 health items for each of them. On this first round, they did exceptionally well, and this medicine cabinet gave them pain pills, which are pretty decent health items, but there's much better ones. On the second round, where the team was wounded, it gave them first aid kits, which are the best health item in the game. Keep in mind, this mainly works on the casual modes of the game. Stuff you'd play if you don't want to have any stress or anything, you just want to sit back and kill some zombies. On more competitive modes like Versus, where 2 teams pit against each other for points, that might have been a bit unfair, so it is a bit of a different story. The 4 in the name actually has a meaning. You and 3 other survivors are forced to stay together and work as a team. And by work as a team, I don't mean like go all Rambo except you share all the spoils like in most games. I mean real teamwork. Everyone needs each other to survive. Even if one person dies, that's 1/4 of the entire team lost, and that might mean that the rest of the team might not even make it. The AI Director enforces this. Stray too far back or rush too far forward from the team, and try to see if you even make it much further than that. Normal old zombies might deal some damage, But the real threat is the special infected. While you're out in the infested area, you'll occasionally come across something from a variety of 5 types of special infected, or 8 if you're playing the second game, all behaving differently and requiring different tactics to defeat. The main kinds of special infected pin their victims down. They can't fight back at all, and they need to rely on their team's help to survive. The Hunter is weak, dying to just a couple point-blank shotgun blasts, but it's incredibly agile, able to pounce around anywhere, and once he pounces on someone, he deals an incredible amount of damage, fast. So the objective is to get him off as quickly as possible, but the Hunter is a sitting duck on them and they can't move at all, so it shouldn't prove too frustrating. The Smoker is also kind of weak, but they have great range, able to grab far-off survivors and dealing mild damage. They are also stuck when they grab someone like the Hunter, but they likely took their long range as an advantage and stood far back before catching a survivor. In Left 4 Dead 1, that was all, but the second game added 2 more. The Charger is the toughest of all of the special infected. His method of attacking is by charging straight forward at the survivors and pinning down the first person he hits. If done right, he can charge someone away from the rest of their team and deal a lot of damage. The Charger is the easiest special infected to avoid, but the most punishing to be hit by. Lastly, the Jockey. The Jockey is much tougher than he looks. He uses his small size to sneak under cover easily and lunge on survivors. Unlike everyone else, he can actually move around while taking a survivor, and that can be used to take survivors away from their team or off of a dangerous ledge. Aside from them are the supporting cast. The Boomer doesn't cause direct damage themselves, but they can call their friends to do the job for them. Their main attack covers the survivors in Boomer Bile, which the infected love for some reason. The big risk with the Boomer is that they're very weak, so even the littlest amount of damage kills them and causes them to explode, and anyone too close will be covered in Boomer Bile and cause a horde to come rushing in. The trick is to shove them back, step back far enough, and then kill them at a safe distance. The Spitter has a long-range area of effect attack, covering a large area of the affected ground in boiling acid that damages survivors. The more they stand in it, the more it damages them. It can be used to cut off an escape route, easily dispatch someone stuck in one area, or to force a whole group out of a holdout spot. That seems pretty tough, but you'd rather run into them than you would run into the 2 most powerful enemies in the game. The Witch doesn't immediately become aggressive upon seeing the survivors. She'll either be sitting in one spot or slowly walking around in one spot, so I don't get the difference. Whatever. But if you shine a light in her face, shoot your guns while near her, or get too close to her, she'll get angry. She'll go back down if you leave her alone, but if you shoot her or let her get too angry, you're fucked. She makes a straight beeline towards whoever disturbed her, and if she makes it to you, she'll incapacitate you in one hit, or straight up kill you on harder difficulties. When you run into the Witch, you're presented with a dilemma. You either kill her quickly before she even reaches a survivor, or you can avoid her by just walking around her without making her angry. The Tank is a behemoth, able to destroy an entire team if done right. He has the most health of anything in the game, and he's able to beat the hell out of someone, throw giant rocks at you, and even knock around giant objects like cars and trees. They can crush survivors and likely incapacitate them in one hit. When the Tank shows up, the entire objective of the game is shifted, and everyone has to put down whatever they're doing and focus on him. You must do whatever you can to stop him. Set up explosive traps, light him on fire with a Molotov cocktail, get a chainsaw and tear him a new ass crack. Anything, as long as it contributes to killing him as fast as possible. And with all of this, you need to be prepared for anything and stay on the lookout. If there's a Charger around, get away from the ledges. If there's a Boomer around, be careful with your trigger finger. If there's a Witch, Think of a plan on how you get past her. The Left 4 Dead games has a diverse cast of enemies. They might be one of the most iconic things in this game, and an iconic cast of characters needs their own style, so much so that each special effect has their own silhouette. If you've played the game before, then it should be unmistakable on what you're looking at when they're on the field. From the tall smoker, the glowing spitter, and the giant tank. The only exception might be the hunter, but that's probably because they take advantage of that and try to blend in with the crowd to sneak around. Well, they sneak around until... Well, actually no. I'm pretty sure it is still sneaky if you damage my eardrums enough to where I can't hear you coming. Shit. Well, that'd especially be bad if you were in this kind of situation. In an apocalyptic situation, you would not only need to keep your eyes out, but you should be using your ears as well. Especially because this game actually uses audio in pretty clever ways. For example, each special infected has their own special jingle, and it kinda matches them. Like how the jockey's is hyper and skittish. Or how the boomer's is low and thick. When a horde of zombies show up, it's the music that lets you know that it's time to kick some ass! Well, that or die painfully. When you encounter the witch, you get some appropriate scary music. And when the tank shows up, you get this big, epic music almost, and it warns you of your impending doom. You are dead. You are fucked. You are dead. And it's not just music either. Some regular old sound effects let you know when shit's happening. Going back to the special infected, for example, all of them have distinct sound effects, like the growling of the hunter, the coughing of the smoker, the grunts of the charger, the cries of the witch. All stuff you should listen out for and be wary of. You should also be wary of a local safe room. In the zombie apocalypse, being outside of safety could mean imminent death. So how do you find a safe room? Left 4 Dead is an extremely fast-paced game, and focused mainly on multiplayer, and it's based on teamwork. So all of this special stuff means that it needs some special level design. Traditionally, there would be methods like saving and auto-saving, but those wouldn't cut it for a game like this. If you can auto-save, then you can just do whatever you want because you rely on it too much to go back off from your mistakes. This game actually has a clever way of using checkpoints, which are another popular form of saving your game. After you're done with a level, you come across a safe room. If everyone gets in, and nobody else is in there with you, then your progress is saved and the next level is loaded. Now you're in a safe space to heal up and reload your guns, but now you need to get out and complete the next level. Every time you die, you do go back with your items from the previous level, but you start the level all over again, and you can't progress unless you make it to the next safe room or complete the campaign if you're on a finale level. But finding the safe room is a challenge, even aside from all the zombies. Or is it? Most levels in the game are very linear, with so many things happening at once, and more time out there meaning more danger. It's best to get to the safe room with your teammates as fast as possible. Leading around 3 other idiots and finding it yourself would be hard if it weren't for a very subtle design trick used in all of the maps. Lighting is a very crucial factor in every level, with the main path to the safe room being lit up with fires, street lamps, lanterns, etc., while extra loot rooms stay dark and cold. The point is, no matter what language you speak, or what dialect you speak it in, Left 4 Dead's level design can communicate your way out with you. And that's game design done right. In conclusion, I really think this is what makes Left 4 Dead one of my favorite games ever made. It had everything I ever wanted with a game, being something that has just enough playtime, very replayable, and fun to play with others. And it made game mechanics I normally hate, and made them not absolutely insufferable somehow. For example, I despise stun mechanics, but I really don't mind the design of stuff like the Hunter and the Smoker that's designed to stun you until your team helps you, because without it, the teamwork aspect would just fall apart and the game just wouldn't be as fun. The AI director is a great way to make every game different from the other and make everything new and unpredictable, without using methods like RNG, where you just gotta get lucky if you want to win the game. It's very forgiving on casual difficulties, giving it a low skill floor, which means that it's easy for anyone to pick up, but it also has the special infected, which gives it a high skill ceiling, knowing all the tactics and how to deal with each one, and getting all the audio cues down and everything, so you have lots to learn. It's the perfect example of being easy to learn, but hard to master. Some official maps are weaker than others. Some weapons are not all that great, and the melee weapons that were introduced in the second game may be a tad overpowered with how you can clear an entire horde by standing in a corner and swinging it wildly. Left 4 Dead is not a perfect game, but goddamn, it got close. There's gonna be a lot of people who disagree with me, but I don't think we need a Left 4 Dead 3. How do you improve on a game design masterpiece?